What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Virzi Effect podcast show. My name is Paul Virzi, and today is, It's Thursday, September 10th, 2020, and you guys are listening to episode 463, not all on YouTube. A lot of people are like, wow, you've been doing this for so long. How come I didn't know? I was doing it for a long time, audio-wise. It was not on Spotify. I was just kind of uploading it, and it was on iTunes. But the ones that are on YouTube have only been kind of halfway through the pandemic. So you can get all the episodes now on Spotify, iTunes, and everything. So just go search the Virzi Effect podcast. You can get them everywhere that you get podcasts. This is episode, like I said, 463 on this rainy, shitty New York day, which I like. I am flying out of here today, going to Ohio. I will be performing at Hilarities in Cleveland starting tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday. So if you're in the Ohio area, this episode will be out this weekend. Come out, come to a show. It's limited seating because of quarantine. Don't know, exactly what the number is. I know it's a big place that holds over 300 people, but obviously there's going to be less than that with, I don't know if it's half capacity, a quarter, whatever it is, but it's an amazing, amazing venue. One of the top venues in New York. Forget New York. It's in Ohio. It's early, guys. It's like 7-something in the morning. But no, it's one of the best comedy venues in the country, actually. Check it out. Pickwick and Frolic, 4th Street Theater, Hilarities Comedy Club this weekend. All right, we got a lot of stuff to talk about before I get out of here. Don't know how long this episode is going to be, but had to put something out there before I travel. Thank you also so much for the YouTube subscriptions and the subscriptions to my new web series, Dude, I Called It. But a lot of things we're going to talk about today. First of all, the kids are back at school. All right. And I just, you know what? This is going to annoy some parents. I'm sorry. I don't know if this is going to be the unacceptable for the week, but this is going to annoy the parents or some parents. Maybe some parents will agree with me. But, listen, I get it. The kids are back at school. There's a pandemic. Can we calm the fuck down with school? Can we be normal about this? And this is something that they've done year after year. The level of stress that people were having. I got to give my wife credit this year. My wife is, it's not even my wife. It's just hearing conversations from everybody. My wife was cool. My wife was like, all right, we're going to, half the time they're going to be in their room. We'll set them up in their room. The other half in school, like more organized and normal. But the amount of conversations that I'm hearing at restaurants, at places that you get coffee, at all these things, people are like, oh yeah, it's kind of stressful. The kids are back at school and school starts in a couple of days. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, pack them a fucking lunch and let them go. Not to mention, we're kind of in a nice neighborhood. We really don't have to worry about do you know what I mean? Like, people need to just calm the fuck. What's going to happen? In schools is they're going to, okay, well, what are they going to do? They're going to have to wear a mask, or are they coming home? And it's like, I get that there's a pandemic going on. That part I get. But like the level that people are getting crazy about their kid going back to school, it's like, put them in fucking the car, drop them off, because I guess now if you can drop them off, they don't want them on a bus. So that's easier. You're packing their food, okay, so you know what they're eating. You're dropping them off, so you know where they are. You're picking them up, and the teachers deal with shit. They have a schedule, and if your kid doesn't do the right thing, you fucking punish them. This whole, I'm stressed out about school. What's going to happen with school? I remember, are you ready for school? I don't know if I'm ready. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Grow up. I just don't understand what's the problem? They've been going to school. If you want to say the pandemic, fine. But if somebody tests positive and they shut it down and everybody comes home, then somebody tests positive, they shut it down and everybody comes home. I just don't understand this whole panic about back to school. We've done this. Unless your kid is in kindergarten, you've fucking done it. I don't know. Maybe, look, I've been called too laxed in my life. I've been called too laid back and carefree in my life. That's what I've been called. And it's probably because I've been through some shit. And you want to know the shit that doesn't matter? That. Okay? That's the good thing about going through shit. When you go through shit, going through shit is the name of this episode. When you go through shit in life, things don't matter. You know what I mean? Like, they just don't fucking matter. I've seen horrible shit in my lifetime. And I'm not saying that I've had it any harder than anybody else. Okay? But I've seen horrible shit. I've been through horrible shit at a younger age than I should have. I have seen awful things. I've seen tragedy. I've seen way too many deaths at a young age. I've seen people that I've loved in their 20s die of cancer. I've had awful things happen. I've had tragedy happen. I've had people that I love be murdered. So when we're talking about your kid going to fucking school, can you just calm the fuck down? That's how good you should be. So lucky that our problem is what's going to happen at school. They're going to, are they going to go, wow, that's crazy. I mean, yeah, I'm really stressed out about it. Are you that stressed out about it? Those are the same people that are stressed out about their fucking mocha latte not being perfect at Starbucks. It's like, wake the fuck up. Wake the fuck up. I got to see what time it is just so I know how long I've been doing. You know, like that's how I look at it. I'm looking at this whole thing like these are our problems. You know, so, and I'm not trying to be, because some of you may, well, you know, Paul, that is a big deal for, listen, and I'm not obviously, all right, dickheads, obviously, if your child has an issue, I get it. If your child isn't disabled, I get that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about under normal circumstances of people sending their children to school. I get that it's a pandemic, but obviously the schools come up with a plan. You as a parent had a choice whether they could do it remote and stay home. You have that choice. You could say, I do not feel comfortable. My son has my son or daughter is either allergic to this or a pre-existing thing, or we don't feel comfortable or whatever it is. And your child can stay home and work from home. That is available in all the schools that I've seen and talked to, people that have been there. So you either have your son or daughter stay home and do it remotely from their bedroom and do a virtual classroom, or you have them go into school for half the week or whatever, or if they go in, and that's the plan. And you stick with the plan and that's it. It's not that big of a fucking deal. You pack them a lunch and you send them to fucking school. Stop it. And while I'm on it, now I'm going to go a little bit because I'm pissed off again. Okay. I cannot wrap my head around. I did a joke about this and honestly, I do not mean to sound redundant. Okay. So if I am, I apologize, but I have not talked about this yet because this is new in the news. The fact that we give a fuck in this country about the royal family and them signing a content deal with Netflix is the problem with America, and why we're fat, why we're lazy, why the E channel exists, why all of these things, that TMZ, okay? I don't know if they have that in other countries. I don't know if they do it biting off of us or whatever, but the fact that we give a fuck not only about celebrities, fine. You want to give a shit about celebrities in your country? It's not my thing, okay? But I understand it. I understand that that's why keeping up with the Kardashians and all that shit was so popular for so many years. But the fact that we're talking about the royal family signing a content deal, the fact that we're talking about Prince Harry and his wife leaving the kingdom, the fact that we give a fuck about that, not to mention, oh yeah, there's a pandemic that killed 100 and almost 190,000 Americans, more than World War I. Yeah, that's going on. Oh, not to mention these protests and racial divide now that we have in the country. Not to mention that. No, not to mention all that. Oh, not to mention an election which has our country literally split in half and people hating on each other and all that shit. And all kinds of, marches and protests and riots and all this and that, and people dying from a pandemic and people wearing a mask and you can't go out and eat anymore without worrying about getting sick and all that stuff. Forget all that. Forget all that. Let's talk about fucking Prince Harry, okay, getting a content deal with Netflix. We give a fuck about that. Unacceptable. Okay, I don't give a shit. If Prince Harry and his wife, okay, flew off of a cliff, I would feel bad. Yeah, I'd feel bad. But I'd be like, all right, they're not from, okay, that's horrible. It is. It's a horrible tragedy. It's horrible. And I'm not saying that it's not. But like, that's kind of when I'll be like, oh, what happened? And even then I'm gonna be like, all right, well, people are dying here. Like, I gotta make sure my, you know, things that here, my family matters. I'm sorry if that's the priority, if that's where my mind is. Okay. So it's with everything going on. And I just can't believe we give a fuck. I honestly can't believe we give a fuck, you know, about the royal family. But that's our country. That's our culture. Our culture, for some reason, in the United States is TMZ. You know, watching Shaquille O'Neal walk out of a Starbucks with a fucking, you know, smoothie and go, hey, Shaq, how you doing, man? What do you think about with the election? Oh, I don't know. I hope it works out. Goodbye. Dun, dun, dun. TMZ. Dun, dun, dun. It's the dumbest. It really lets me realize, and I didn't realize this until I got a little older, was all the distractions and the dumb shit that we do. You know, these companies just prey on like how dumb people are. You know, like, I don't need to see any Nicole Kidman come out of a fucking yoga class and ask her a question about what she thinks about what's going on. And I especially don't give a shit about this magical family over the ocean in a Disney castle. I just can't wrap my head around it, actually. It's that fucking ridiculous to me. It's that ridiculous to me that we give a shit that we aired the wedding on TV. I just don't understand how it matters. I just don't understand how it matters. Please write to me. Let me know how it matters to you and how it affects you. Let me know. Let me know. I'd rather them air scientists trying to cure cancer. I'd rather have them show COVID-19 under a microscope and see what these doctors and scientists at Johns Hopkins and everything are seeing and give us that information than fucking Meghan Markle and that fucking pale ginger that she's marrying fucking holding hands at a wedding and a picture of the Queen looking like the Queen doesn't give a fuck. The Queen is sitting there like she doesn't give a fuck. The Queen's looking around. She's got a hat. She's like, yeah, I'm fucking 90. Just let me get my tea and my muffin or whatever the fuck she gets. Tuck me in bed at 4 o'clock and leave me alone. I don't even fucking like this woman. You can tell she didn't like her. It's stupid. It's just ridiculous for me. For me. I know what you're saying, Paul. You're cranky this morning. It's raining. You have to fly to Ohio. No, I think I'm in good shape. I think I'm thinking clearly here. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody for coming out to my outdoor shows in Fairfield, Connecticut. Guys, I am not going to lie. I did not know what to expect. I really did not know what to expect. The Fairfield Comedy Club is usually inside the Circle Hotel, and it's in this lobby. And I know that sounds horrible, but it's been one of my favorite places. The way they roped it off, the way they like closed it into a comedy show, it's like this little shoebox of intimate stand-up, the way stand-up should be, and I loved it. I loved working new jokes there. I loved doing like jokes, current jokes or jokes from my special there. I love the room. I love interacting with the crowd. I just really do love it. And so I went there, and this time it couldn't be inside, obviously, because of everything going on. So they had an outdoor venue. They're doing a 6-week-long Connecticut Comedy Festival. They're having amazing comedians from all over do the show. And I do not know why my face is itchy. I'm guys, I don't do blow, but I'm itchy. You know, they really did an amazing job. Shout out to the Connecticut Cigar Company who came and was a sponsor, rolling fresh cigars for people. I had one. They were amazing. They were incredible, actually. And shout out to Nick at the Connecticut Cigar Company. If you're in Stamford, Connecticut, support him. and check that out. But it was so great to have loyal fans sitting in lawn chairs right in front of me throughout the 3 shows. I did 3 shows. I'm the first comedian to do double day, shows there. 1 Friday, 2 on Saturday. I did a early one, 5:30 on Saturday and a 7:30 on Saturday. And just having people come out and go, man, I've been here before, I saw you. And look, you don't know what to expect. You got grown adults buying their chairs at Dick's Sporting Goods and fucking buying coolers. It looks like these people are going camping. You don't know what to expect. You're not really on a stage. You're standing in this field with a wireless microphone. And when I tell you these people were ready and involved, it was awesome, man. It really was awesome. And the people coming up to me going, I see you every time you're here. I listen to the Virzi Effect. I'm a fan. I write into the Virzi Effect and all that. Truly, truly means a lot. I had people come out that saw me at my special. They came to the taping of my special in Terrytown. So it was just really, really dope. And shout out to Emilio and everybody at the Fairfield Comic Club. Guys, if you're in Connecticut and you want to see some of the best comedians in a small, intimate setting, whether inside or outside, because of regulations and everything, there's only 100 people spread out. And it looked amazing. It looked really, really amazing. But thank you all for making that not a nightmare, because I'm not going to lie. When I pulled up, the thought of just looking at the venue and then hitting the accelerator on my car and continuing to go on the highway and just driving away and never coming back definitely gave me pleasure and was definitely a true thought. I'm glad I didn't do that. I'm glad I stayed because it was, listen, I'm not going to lie. Is it ideal? No. When you see somebody sitting in a beach chair 40 yards from you, like having a fucking hard seltzer, you're like, all right, they're a little more relaxed than they might be in a regular comedy club when they're sitting down, but it was still really dope. It was still really, really cool. And look, I'll do it again. And these outdoor shows that I have chose to do have been phenomenal. They really been great. Speaking of phenomenal, I once again have to say the NBA playoffs have been unbelievable, as enjoyable as I've ever watched. And I take back what I said. I take back what I said about the digital fans. The big time players are playing big time now that it's getting down to a championship and it's coming down to the wire. So that's been great. But let's talk about something a little more positive and relevant right now. And do you want to know what that is, everybody? That is that today is the start and kickoff of the NFL's 2020-2021 season. That's right. We're doing the Father-Son Fantasy Football League. We got great players. We're excited about it. Football is back. Some stadiums are even going to have a handful of fans, which is at least something. Even if it looks like it rained and some people left, but the diehards are still there, it's something. I don't think my New York Football Giants, which you could see behind my head, I don't think that they're having fans. Bothers me a little bit. Yeah. Bothers me a little bit. But I'm excited that other teams and I'll be able to watch games and see, okay, there's some fans in there. So there will be some real excitement. And NFL football is back. The thing about the NFL is you could watch the fucking Jaguars play the Lions. No offense to those markets, but I'm just saying, like, you can watch as a New Yorker, that's not an ideal matchup, right? As somebody, because at least if I'm watching Washington or if I'm watching the Eagles or the Cowboys, they're in my division, or watching some West Coast teams that, could be in the – but when you're watching, the Jaguars and the Lions, you're like, whatever. But it doesn't matter. That's how good the NFL is. You're like, hey, I either have somebody on my fantasy team or this is just great. It's football. So football is back, and it is something to celebrate. All you gambling, degenerate pieces of shit who are probably going to get divorced again and lose your family, I know you're excited again. You're excited to dip back into the bucket. that you fucking don't even have anything in and lose more. It's just an exciting time. All you delusional fans who think that you know everything, you know, those people. No, last year I was like, my betting, I was like 64%. Meanwhile, you're in a fucking studio apartment eating ramen noodles. You don't know shit. If you were 64%, you'd be living in a palace in Vegas, going to the casino, just fucking padding your bank account. Stop lying. You're not 64%. Nobody is 64%. If all you people that say you were 60-something% winners, okay, if that was the case, then there would be no such thing as bookies or gambling or Vegas. You're lying. The problem is, even if you're really good, you're like 48 or 49%. And guess what that means? You're losing. Okay? So cut the shit with, no, I'm telling you, man, last year I fucking, you know, I one stretch, I wasn't wrong for 2 months. You were probably wrong a lot during the 2 months. You fucking liar. But let's do some picks here. Every year on the Virzi Effect, I pick who I think is going to go to the Super Bowl. And if you've been listening to the Virzi Effect for a long time, you know that a lot of times, I would say maybe half the time, I usually get one team in there. One team in, I usually get. Okay. Definitely a couple years in there where I didn't, but there was a couple years where I did. Maybe 1 year I got both teams. I don't know, but I always have one. Half the time I've had one, I should say. See, I just did that delusional 64%. So this year I will make picks. As much as I want to say that the New York Giants will be in the Super Bowl, I think that this is going to be a real turnaround growing year for the New York Football Giants. I think Daniel Jones is going to find out if this is his team and he's really the captain of the ship, which I think he will be. I think Saquon Barkley is going to have a big year. I think our defense is going to tighten up and we're going to figure out the pieces we need to get better. I think the Giants could be a year or two away from really making a statement if the coach and the quarterback is what we think they are. But I don't think the Giants will be in the Super Bowl this year, and nobody wants to be more wrong than me. If I'm wrong, I'll take it. I am really excited to see what the Patriots and Cam Newton do and what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady do. So for fun, on the Virzi Effect, TVE 463, I'm going to dream. I'm going to dream big. I've always been a dreamer. I'm following my dream in comedy. I like to dream big and reach for the stars, and wherever I fall, when the dust settles, let the chips fall where they may. Is that what they say? Then that's what it will be. I am going to go out on a limb here, and I am going to say the world is going to get, because 2020 has been wild. 2020 has been a year of who knows what's going to happen. Anything can happen. Holy shit, did that really happen? So, in the light of that, I will say that the New England Patriots and Cam Newton and Coach Belichick will make a statement saying that they did not need Tom Brady to go that way. Obviously, this always goes barring injury, right? I am going to dream big and say that the New England Patriots, Cam Newton, and Bill Belichick will face their rivalry. Tom Terrific, okay, even though it hasn't been rivalry, I think Belichick and Brady, you could say, is now the Johnny Lawrence and the Daniel LaRusso, which we're going to get into in a second. If you think I'm not talking about Cobra Kai on this, I may have to name this episode No Mercy instead of going through it. It's going to be one of the two. I think it might be No Mercy now that I think about it. Tom Terrific. Oh, by the way, the real Tom Terrific, Tom Seaver, passed away. Rest his soul. Pitcher for the Mets. World Series champion. Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as crazy as it is to sound, as crazy as that is to say, Jesus, it's early. I think that Brady and the Buccaneers will be in the Super Bowl against the New England Patriots and Cam Newton. One can dream, and I just did. Okay. And that will be must watch. Incredible. Imagine that. Imagine this for 1 second, guys. And if you're not into sports, you probably don't like the podcast. I don't give a fuck. Football's back. I'm excited. Imagine that there's 2 minutes left and it's a 2-minute drill. And the Patriots are up 3 in the Super Bowl. Cam Newton is laughing. He's walking around with players. He looks excited. He looks like he's going to win. And then TB12 goes down the field, wins the game with a touchdown drive with like 6 seconds left. No, we'll say 1 second left or no time, so there could be no run back. Tom Brady throws a touchdown when the clock strikes 0 for the Buccaneers to beat Belichick and the Patriots. And then Brady grabs his supermodel wife in one hand, his kids in the other hand, and goes off in the sunset. He takes his Tampa Bay Buccaneers helmet. He throws it in the air. He gives a middle finger in the back. He gets his 7th ring or whatever the fuck number it is now. And walks off into the sunset. Belichick and Cam look stunned, and game over. That's my prediction. That's what I'm putting down for my 2021 season. So there you have it. All right, let's see where we are on time. All right, this is not going to be much longer, guys. It's going to be a shorter podcast. Hope you're enjoying it. Like I said, Virzi Effect Podcast. Get this podcast now available on Spotify, iTunes, everywhere that you get podcasts. And all full episodes are going to be on not only clips on social media, but all of the episodes, the full episodes will be on the official Paul Virzi YouTube channel, which we have, I think, over 2,100 subscribers since we launched it a few months back. And we appreciate that. Let's keep that going. Please tell a friend, spread the word. Speaking of tell a friend and spread the word, guys, I watched Cobra Kai with zero intentions of watching it. I heard people talking about it. I make fun of it in my show. I'm like, this guy's still having issues with his childhood bully 35 years later. Shoot the guy in the head or move already. All right, get a real estate broker. Okay, you have a car. What are you guys doing? One of you guys kill the other one, and what's going on here? How is this still happening? I make fun of it, blah, blah, blah. People laugh. Well, let's really be honest for a second. It is a little ridiculous. Okay, I mean no disrespect, because I will tell you something. Ralph Macchio, William Zabka, all the people that are taking part in this are crushing it. It's great. Of course, it's a little ridiculous. I'm sure that they would say it's a little ridiculous, a little corny and cheesy and ridiculous, but in all of the best ways, corny and cheesy happen. I mean, just amazing. It's just so great. I watched it in 2 days, guys. I watched 20 episodes in 2 days, which is basically 10 hours worth. Okay, the other night I went to bed at 4:00 in the morning because I literally watched season 2 in its entirety. And then the night before, I did it in like 2.5 days. Because the first one, I just was laying in bed and I'm like, let me watch the first episode. And I was like, oh, that's kind of all right. And I was like, let me watch the second episode. So I think I got through like 3 episodes or whatever, 3 or 4 episodes the first day. And then in the next 2 days, so in the middle of the night, I watched like a few, and then the next day I just ran through them. So it's like probably total within 48 hours, I watched Cobra Kai with zero. I mean, I had to watch it going back. Yes, a little far-fetched, but dude, it brought me back. The soundtrack. All right, I got a little choked up when I saw Mr. Miyagi. There was one thing said too that got me a little choked up. I can't believe they got me rooting for Johnny. Johnny's like, dude, that kid's a pussy. Your generation sucks. I'm like, I'm in. This is great. Relax, people. Not that I'm not progressive, but it was a really kind of cool, nostalgic thing. The music was great. All right, if I have to critique, and this is just the comedian in me, so I apologize because I know I'm saying something I like, but now I'm going to shit on it for a second. It is a little ridiculous when, like, if you haven't watched it, spoiler alert, but like when Johnny and Daniel like meet up and have a drink and everything is good, then the next scene they're fighting. It's just like they have this great time and they make amends as grown adults with children. And then all of a sudden something happens. You're like, God, would you want to finish this? It's a little, it's a little fucking weird and ridiculous, but that's what kept me there. Shout out to my comedian buddy, Brett Ernst, who is in season 1. And he plays the character Louis, really funny. But I love the show. And I'm excited for season 3. And even when it's predictable, it's just great. It's just great, and it brought me back. So definitely, as much as I goof on it and as much as it is ridiculous, I highly, highly recommend Cobra Kai. I totally understand why it's #1 streaming show in the world. Okay. Speaking, I did my unacceptable of people caring about the royal family. Let me do something that I have not done in a long time. I am going to read a fan's unacceptable right here on the show. Here we go. So, I can't. Did you guys that? I don't know if you see me or if you don't see me. So let me try to read this without. All right. If you guys can't see me, I don't know. You probably can see me, but I can't see you, and I'm blocked because I'm reading this. Whatever. Here we go. This is from Aaron. And Aaron says, hey, Paul, this is called an ambulance tailgaters, unacceptable. Hey, Paul, I have seen this numerous times, and I finally decided to write into your show. I was in bumper-to-bumper traffic on the Merritt Parkway the other day when I was headed to work. This was due to a 7-car accident. It's a Monday morning. At least the weather was nice, and we are between exits. So basically, we are all stuck in this together. We had to let the emergency vehicles through, so the 2 lanes have to pull all the way over. So close to the guardrails, I can touch them. There are these assholes that follow ambulances through the traffic, tailgating them all the way. I find this disgusting, disrespectful, dangerous, and unacceptable, period, Aaron. Well, Aaron, I have to agree. Sometimes drivers are assholes. They need to be somewhere, but obviously you should not do that. That being said, it made me realize a ticket that I got. And thank you so much for this submission. That's a great one. And seeing people do that, as much as I'm just like, look at this asshole. But then I just laugh because I'm like, it's just, and I know that that's just such a New York thing to do. To be like, no, get behind that motherfucker. But you're right. If you guys want to submit your unacceptables to unacceptablesfortve@gmail.com. But one time I got a ticket because apparently I was listening to music so distracted, and apparently an ambulance said that they were behind me, and I didn't realize it for 7 different sirens, and I got a ticket. And it was pretty weird in the courtroom to be like, yeah, you didn't get out of the way as somebody could. I didn't know. I was just listening to my music. I didn't know. But I don't think the person in the ambulance got hurt. So thank God. But thank you. Thank you so much for that submission. Guys, this weekend, Hilarities Comedy Club, Hilarities 4th Street Theater in downtown Cleveland on 4th Street. Tonight, 7 o'clock. Friday, 2 shows. Saturday, 2 shows. Come out next week. I will be at the Punchline in Atlanta. Very limited seating. Maybe 60 or 70 a show is all that's allowed. Tickets are going to go. Come out there. I'm really looking forward to being in Atlanta. Then I have Pennsylvania the week after. I'm going to post all kinds of stuff about that show. We got Salt Lake City coming up October 9 and 10 out in Utah. We got, what else do we have coming up? We have November. We have Atlantic City coming up. So I'm going down to that shithole, and we're going to have a good time. But the venue's great. I just mean Atlantic City is kind of tough. Anyway, probably shouldn't be just saying that or shitting on the place that I'm going to perform. Sorry, locals. Please check out the Virzi Effect podcast. Please check out and subscribe to my YouTube channel, the Paul Virzi YouTube channel. Dude, I called it. Have some cool announcements coming up soon. We are still working on the Patreon. Something is in the works, guys. It's just, like I said, it's taking a little bit, but please check out the Virzi Effect on Spotify, iTunes, everywhere you get podcasts. Spread the word. Tell a friend. Follow me on Instagram, VIRZI. Follow me on Twitter, VIRZI. Guys, I have to get out of of here and fly to Ohio. I love you all. This has been episode 463. Go Giants. Enjoy football. And check out Cobra Kai. No Mercy is the name of this episode. Take care.